We are now going to the special city council meeting. And we are convening the special city council meeting at 9:58. Sheila, you're up.
Miss Sheila.
Now, just as a refresher for what we're doing, this particular meeting that we are now doing is we have all read the proposals, the RFPs. We've scored the RFPs, and 6 of us have turned in our score sheets to Sheila for some compilation. Johnette prefers to retain hers, which is her prerogative. And the purpose tonight is to discuss the scoring, discuss the proposals, and decide how many firms we wish to have come in for interviews. That's our purpose. It's not to decide which one we're going with. It's just as we've looked at 6 of them, we want to interview 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1, based on our preferences. Now, I will preface my scores telling you that I did not score the price. And the reason I did not score the price is once I started reading these things through, there was one very strong outlier, which like, you're gone. And then the rest came in pretty close. And so I said, it's not a matter of price, it's a matter of competency in terms of what we think we might get from each particular of the remaining 5. So I only scored the factors with the exclusion of price. I did not put a score for price. And I followed Sheila's recommendation in terms of putting people at a 5, you know, and I then went plus or minus. After reading their proposals, I added 1 point or 2 points, or I took away points based on what I saw. And that was my particular methodology. Just to let you know, if any of the rest of you have any other methodologies you'd like to explain why your scores are like they are, and that's up to you. That's what I did. So what are we looking at, Sheila?
Is the high score, which one? Is that the high, the scores up there, across the top?
I don't know. Well, let's let Sheila tell us what we're looking at.
First of all, just like, good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you so much. I'm gonna pass your scores back out to you. So you'll know where you represent as a grader. I don't use your name on these, I use your actual number.
Oh, so I see. Okay. So E1, E2, E3 is a person. Is that right?
I'm sorry?
E1, E2, E3 is a person.
Yes, that's a person. You're one.
Signature can make out for me. There you go.
DM.
Yeah, really, I'll do it.
So I'm missing 1 score.
Yes.
Can I enter your numbers, please?
No. She prefers to withhold.
I'm sorry?
She prefers to withhold them,
Withholding.
which is her prerogative.
Okay. All right, then. So the scores are there based on what each one scored and where you scored. So that's how the firms have fallen thus far with the way that it's scored. So Pearson Partners International is the first PPI. They're at 75.4 based on what we have. Baker Tilly, 75.4 based on the scores that were provided. SGR is at 78.3
Do you need to go up with the number?
based on what was turned in.
Oh, you're at that upper, I'm,
Go ahead.
you're in the upper top corner.
Oh, the third corner.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Oh, okay.
GHR is 58.4. CPL is 62.0. And CMC, which is for CPL, at 66.0. So, not just for us, you can see the rest of it.
But go back up.
Your
What was the
scores
other
there.
one?
I'm sorry?
Go back up. Yeah.
She wants to see the scores.
At the top again?
Yes.
Oh, I'm
Don't show her
sorry.
our scores. She not showing her.
So I use a little graph there so you can see kind of how they fall.
Because you're done.
So, so your leader right now is SGR, and then you have two tied at 75.4.
So can we consider the process of looking at either we can not do all 6 or eliminating the lower 2 to not interview?
Sorry, repeat that.
I would agree with that more.
Looking at the process, keeping the lower 2 we drop automatically.
Well, let me ask a question. How did my not putting in a score for rates and expenses affect the outcomes?
It affects it. They're out without the actual 7 because the scale was set up for 7 evaluators, so it's off because I have none, so it's actually like 7 got zeros all the way through, and then with your missing rates, that offsets it
So
as
the
well.
numbers we're
because
looking at aren't accurate because I didn't score item number 2.
that is correct. And scores are turning, it'll change that because the scale is set for the number of evaluators.
Is that an active spreadsheet?
Yes, sir, it's an accuracy.
All right. Put a 5 in on rates and expenses for
For
Pearson.
Pearson, okay.
Baker Tilly.
That's 5 as well.
5?
Yeah, 5. Pearson, Baker Tilly, and SGR. See what happens.
Just on those 3?
Because the rest of them I don't consider being in the game.
So now that brings
Change it.
Baker Tilly because they're already tied, so the 5 just keeps them tied. And then that brings SGR to a 77.8.
So it really doesn't change anything.
No, you gave the same scores.
You gave the same
as the
score.
top three.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't worry, my son.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, I said, go ahead. I just said, don't be reading my notes.
So she can use your scores then?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let's see where we go.
So we can still decide whatever we want anyway, even if the
So
scores
on the
are.
interview.
This is just the objectivity of what
Just
we're
don't give us
looking at.
So one thing on the interview, and I was talking with Sheila, we think you probably need to allocate about an hour and a half to a firm to interview. So I don't know if that's gonna then determine how many you want to interview. But you probably would not be able to do more than 2 in one night or one day, unless you want to devote a whole day to it. So if you've got more, so I just want to throw that out. Just think about how much time you're going to need to interview a firm. How much, does that change how many you want to interview?
Well, up until now, there's a disparity between the top 3 and the bottom 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
We're looking at 3, we're not looking at 4 and 3.
Well, I heard it sounded like 4, so that's why I didn't know. You said take out the bottom 2, so I just thought you were going to do 4 of them.
Well, Mark fell asleep when he said that.
You really want to do 4?
Maybe. Depends on who's the top 4.
1, 2, 3. Well, so I'm looking at 58, 62, and 66. Everybody else is so pretty close. That's kind of why I was saying that
Well, it's the old phrase, it's the top 5 of the lower 10.
there's 6 total, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Math was his long suit.
Mm-hmm.
He's a banker.
That's why we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Would you get a loan from this man?
That'd be the best time to get it. You
So
better say,
he's
yeah, I'll go to
thinking,
him.
Mark's thinking. Hey, by the way, Mark, I want to talk to you after the meeting.
0.1.
Don't y'all look, they putting Jeanette's in E7.
That's right. And who said I was 7?
What's left? Barry's hard on these people.
Are you surprised? Like he wants to annihilate the church.
The no grace man? The no grace
Yeah,
man?
no grace.
Business is business.
We'll tell God that when you come through.
Do you curve your grades with your students?
No.
Yeah.
I do not curve a grade.
Listen to
Anyway,
him.
if you're in this class, withdraw. Withdraw real quick.
I give 3 weeks grace for late assignments in the first 3 weeks of the course. After that, 1 minute later, you got a 0 on the assignment.
Yeah, drop your class quickly.
And what I tell them is, learn it here, because if you do this out there when you're getting paid to do it, you get fired. All you're losing here is points on an assignment.
Ah. So what's blue box mean?
Lock the door. Yeah.
My daughter.
See, so here's the change.
Business majors.
Anyways, you're not, whatever.
Interview the top 3, we're finished.
So we still got top 3.
Interview the top 3? I agree.
Good.
I'm good with the top 3.
Would you go to the top 3, man?
Sure.
Okay.
What's in that cup?
So May 29th, we do this one?
Well, no, the next question is, hey, I don't care really, but I mean, it's up to y'all. But the next question was going to be, when do you want to do that? We suggest at least 2 weeks out so that we have time, Sheila has time to contact
Yeah, they
them
can get their
and schedule them. And then, yeah, when do you want to do it? Like time of days, that sort of stuff.
So Pearson Partners came out at what, 762? Baker Tilly came out at what? 763.
What's that first one?
Both of them said 6'3", and this GR said 6'.
Wow.
What's that first one?
GR came out at 771.
Looks like Kevin, the first week of April or third week of April, nothing's going on.
Statistically, there is no variance between the first 3.
No, it said it was 15.
Last week of March.
Last week of March or third
All
week
right,
of
I'm out.
April.
What date are you saying?
Last week of
Well, I know that y'all have a TML elected officials conference and then NLC first 2 weeks of March, so those are kind of out. And then you can see on the calendar, the next week, you've got a council meeting on the 17th. Flavor of Duncanville the 19th.
Oh, yeah, we got it over there.
So,
I'm out of town the 25th through the 27th. And I'm comfortable if you guys schedule me for not being here, so I don't want to hold you up.
I'm sorry.
I'm out of town the 25th through the 27th. I'm comfortable if most of y'all
that
can
is
make
an
it.
extra week.
Not
If we
tonight.
do the
You
interviews
don't have
without
a
you, is that what
council
you said?
meeting. So you're skipping a week, so you have an extra.
You don't need me, right?
What day do you want? What day do you want to do?
Well, if you look at the last week of March 30th, 31st, that's an extra Tuesday also, so there doesn't look like there's much in that week. Does that work for people?
I can't believe you're gonna take our extra Tuesday.
You can have the 24th.
But look, there's P&C meeting on the 23rd,
I know.
there's town hall on the
I know.
26th,
Yeah, you're all
there's the
calendars.
police banquet on the 28th.
Mhm.
You didn't give us anything.
I know.
So you're saying the 31st? And the
30th,
30th?
30th. Well, it depends on, again, if you assume an hour and a half and then you want time to talk about them,
He
Or
wants to be
Mark-
absent.
Mark wants to do 4 and we do 3.
Mark.
I mean, you probably want to do 2 nights so that you can maybe do 2 the first night, one the second night, and then you have time to talk afterwards. That would be my, what do you think, Sheila? Would you agree with that?
So what we're really looking at is like from 6 to 7:30.
And then 7:30 to 9.
6 to
Yeah,
9
to 9:30.
Yeah, unless you want to start earlier if you want to.
It all depends on,
They're probably used to doing evenings, so I'm sure that
Maybe
they'll.
I'd rather start earlier if that, but I can do either one.
so it'll go 5 to 6:30 and 7 to 8:30. With a half hour in between. Just to give us some buffer.
Okay. Will we considering the confer time after
No.
just interviews?
Just chit chat with some
You
short
should-
time interaction.
Yeah, like a half hour in between them to where you could kind of like
Yeah,
chit chat a little
just
bit.
chit-chat, but not-
then you probably, so you kind of compare notes to yourselves right after each one, but then your deliberation and selecting a firm would be, you would want it sometime after you've interviewed all of them, I think, to spend that time.
And so they come in, we interview them, and then they leave, and the other group isn't in the room.
Right.
Right. But those are public.
Well, citizens, but I don't think that the,
Yeah, they would, I mean, no professional.
No, I'm just saying that, just
Could,
recall.
could they? They
Hmm?
could.
They could.
They could. They could sit right here in this room while we're interviewing them.
And everybody's local, the whole 3 group is local, right?
what?
SGR is local.
Baker Tilly is.
Baker Tilly is Addison, Pearson is Dallas, and SGR is
Bell.
Keller. Keller, they're all local.
So they can come back if we need it.
I'm just saying a half hour in between because y'all don't like stopping right when I say stop.
Oh, bossy, bossy. What does your wife say?
I stay out of her way.
Oh.
So what day would we come up with, 31st?
30th and
30th,
31st.
I'm not sure I'll be here for the 30th, but I'm not, I'll be here for the
So the
31st.
30th and the 31st. Starts at 5 o'clock?
5 o'clock?
So we'll say 5 to 9, basically, those nights.
Interviews are search for March 30th, 5.
That is
On the,
funny.
we're gonna do 2 on March 30th.
Mhm, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
On the 31st.
Read it.
That's true.
Must have all read it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, did we?
That's an interesting thought. Bonnie said we must have all read it because we came in when it closed.
Well, you can't, yeah.
So we must have all read them. And here I thought somebody would cheat.
But you didn't read the disaster debris plan.
That's probably in the book.
Because y'all were.
Well, yeah.
No.
No, when I was meeting the cultural diversity
We're
board,
gonna go till 9.
38 city,
Yeah.
Pictures.
Oh, that's right, you
And these
read
readings.
it was terrible too.
Voting on those at the NLC.
Well, yeah, they're putting it.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
had mine in when they asked us to.
Right. Yeah.
You
Last
got
Monday.
extra- You got a gold star.
No, he called me today and said, did you send
Yes.
yours? I said, I sent mine in
Yes.
the day you said to have mine.
See, that's worse when you send it in
Yeah.
and then they don't even
Even
recognize that
recognize it.
they got it.
You know
yeah.
why? Because the whole rest of them didn't.
Yeah.
They were asking for grace all the way through Friday.
Should have popped right out.
And he looked, I could hear him, and he
Are we
goes,
done?
you're right, you
Are we
got yours
done?
in first.
Are we done?
You can go home, Barry.
Are we done? We are adjourned at